Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am super glad that you are here to join me for another video. Today's video is going to be a super fun one, one that is a trend right now. So I'm going to be following a certain beauty YouTuber's tutorial, and I chose Jaclyn Hill because Jaclyn was what got me into watching YouTube at all. I never watched it before I was watching Jaclyn Hill, and I just love her, and I have her palette, and I knew that she had created a couple of looks and tutorials on those looks from her palette, so I thought I might as well just choose one of those videos and recreate the look she has from her palette. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Okay, so like Jaclyn does and says in her video, I already put on my foundation and my brows and primer and stuff like that, but at the end of her video she does do bronzer and highlighter and stuff like that, so I will be doing stuff like, no, I'm kidding. I will be recreating pretty much the whole thing, not just the eye look we're going for here, and it's a red smoky, it's called the Hot Fire Smoky Eye. So we're going to be doing that, but I do have a base already done. So yeah, I'm super nervous. I know everybody says they're nervous about it, but it is kind of nerve-wracking because you're following these humongous millions and millions of people, follow them, beauty YouTubers, and you're trying to recreate their looks. So it's kind of cool to see if you do as good or close to as good of a job as they do. So she's gonna first start out with the 4th shade in the Jaclyn Hill palette. It's called MFEO, and I can't remember what that stands for. I feel like this is the most hardest because you're trying to like multitask and watch the video while you're filming it. I hope my brushes are dry enough. I just got done washing them. So, and she is putting it all over the outer crease of her eye and not getting too high up. So alright, so next she's going in with the shade Butter, which is the 2nd shade of the 2nd row. And I like how she goes in to explain that we're using like a little more of an orangey tone here. Rather, this one's a little bit more brown, this one's a little more orangey because we don't want to make it like a super brown look. We're going for a really rich, warm, like orangey red look. So, and she is just putting that in like the same area of the crease, but bringing it a little further inwards when we get to the bottom of the lid over here. I'm going to bring a little of that in towards the corner, towards the eye, inner eye. Alright, so now she's going in with the shade Pukey, which is one of my favorite shades personally in the palette right here. It is just so rich. I love this color. And she's just going over the top of pretty much what we just did. Really warms up the eye. And kind of go more on the center of the lid with that as well. So now she's going in with a translucent powder and carving out like a line underneath so that it'll, when we wipe it all away, it'll be really crisp and look very clean. And you can also, she talks about just do your eyeshadow first, which I've talked about in some of my other videos, which if I am doing something really special and I want to look like bomb fantastic, I will try to do my eyeshadow first. I tend to forget a lot because I'm so used to doing it this way, but she's right. You can just carve out a line with translucent powder to do that as well. She's using a brush from Morphe that I am actually really wanting to get, but I do not have a brush like that, so I am just going to go in with my Morphe sponge, which I should have cleaned it off a little bit, but I think it'll be okay, and just dip into my Morphe translucent powder. So Morphe, and the Jaclyn Hill palette's Morphe too, so, and most of my brushes are Morphe, so we're doing mostly Morphe today. I should just kind of stamps a line there. So now she's putting a little bit on underneath the eye as well. So if there is any fallout, which I don't get much fallout out of this palette, but if there is any fallout, it will get caught on the translucent powder and not on the foundation and the face. And when we wipe it all away, it will go away too. Now she's just going in with the shade Roxanne, which is right here. And we're gonna pretty much do like the exact same thing, except for stay more towards the crease on the outer edge and a little on the inside of it is what it looks like she's doing. She is going in with Hunts now, which is, yes, this color right here. It's really pretty, really orangey, really just fiery, like she likes to explain it in her video. She wants this to look like a really fiery, orangish, reddish look. And she is just going in with that shade and putting over the top of this crease area to make it even more fiery. Okay, so now she's going in with the shade Creamsicle, which is probably one of my top 5s of the palette. I really love like a little bit of a light orangey, really mustard yellowy color. And she's going in with a brush and kind of just mixing that in the very top area of the shadow. Okay, so now she's going in with the shade Hillster. This is our first shimmer we're using, and it's this color right here. And we're going to, first I'm going to put it on my brush, which I really didn't realize I was doing this wrong, because when I've been told to spray my brush, I've never been told to spray my brush after you put on the shadow or it'll mess up your eyeshadow. I was kind of wondering why it makes my eyeshadows kind of grimy when I get them wet, especially in this palette. If you wet your brush first, I feel like it kind of tears up the eyeshadows. So now I'm trying to learn, like teach myself to first go in with the shadow on my brush and then take some MAC Fix Plus or whatever setting spray you have and spraying it afterwards to make it more shimmery. And she's just putting this all over the lid area. Now she's going in with the shades Firework and Queen, which are these two shades right here, and she's going to mix a little bit of them together and put that in the center of her lid. And we will fix the harshness of the outside of these in a second after we're pretty much done with the rest. Okay, so now she's just wiping away all, oh, this is totally wet. She's gonna wipe away the excess. Okay, so now she's going in with a pencil brush, so I'm just gonna use one I got from a Naked palette. Okay, so she's going back in with Pukey, this middle shade here, this brownish shade, and she is putting that on her lower lash line. Okay, so now she's going in with Mocha, which is this really rich brown shade down here, which I've used a few times. It looks really nice on the outer crease. And she's going in with a pretty precise brush and putting that on the lower waterline. Okay, so now she's picking up a little bit of Roxanne and Hunts. So Roxanne and Hunts, and she's going to mix those a little bit together and just kind of blend out what we just did underneath the eye. Okay, so she's going back in with Roxanne and Hunts, the same colors I just showed you that we mixed under here, and she's going to mix those in the inner corners up here so that we make sure there's no harsh lines. I'm going to go back in with a little bit of that yellow. Okay, so now she's going in highlighting the brow bone with Enlight up here, the first color in the palette. Okay. Okay, so now she's just going in with that same color in light and putting that in the inner corner of her eyeball. Now she's going in with the second color in the palette, which is Beam, right here, and just putting it in the same exact spot. Alright, so now she's going in with lashes. She's using Flutter Intoxicating, which look very gorgeous. But I do not have those, and I just bought some lashes from the Hush app, which I told you guys in my last video. And I'm going to be using a pair of those today. These were only $2, so I wanted to try them out. Okay, so Jacqueline didn't do this step, but I'm going to put just a little bit of eyeliner, just like very thinly on my lash line. I'll try to. Maybe I should talk first. I can't multitask. So that my lash band won't show. These don't seem like the best quality lashes, but they're not terrible. Okay, so now she's putting black liquid liner on her lower waterline. I'm not using the ColourPop bronzer. I don't have it. I'd like to try it. It looks nice. But I'm going to just go in with a Too Faced Cocoa Contour and use this darker shade in the bottom. Just bronzing up that face.
It's you, babe, and I'm a sucker for the way that you move, babe.
Okay, she said she wants to do a nice coppery warm blush. So I'm going to be using my Tarte Blush Bazaar, and I haven't said a lot of the names of some of the stuff I'm using, but I definitely will link it all below, just like I have been. Really the only like orange coppery shade I have is this one, and this one's kind of more orange, so I'll probably just use this one right here for blush. Okay, so now she's going in with a Jeffree Star highlighter that's like kind of yellowish gold, but I don't have that Jeffree Star highlighter, so I'm gonna go in with the gold Salted Caramel highlighter from Kylie, and then out of that Naked palette, oh, that's starting now. I'm gonna use the yellow shade here at the bottom of that palette. Okay, and now I'm gonna go in with that yellow. Just try to use this brush and get a little bit of it. Okay, so now she's gonna use Champagne Pop for the other parts of her face. I do have Champagne Pop, but I didn't know when I was ordering it that it was like the cream one, and I don't really like that as much. I want the powder one, so I might just go in with just the Cotton Candy, or not Cotton Candy, Salted Caramel shade now, and add that to, I believe, my forehead, my nose, my Cupid's bow, and she adds some to her chin as well, because she likes to glow from top to bottom. Okay, so I am just using a Kylie liner. It's Dolce K, and I'm gonna line my lips and fill them all in like she does. I don't know why my finger's over here like this, but it's like, I feel like I need to hold on to something. Well, now she goes in with a nude lipstick up at the top of it, and I also don't have the same one it says, so I'm going, why am I talking in a British accent? Or is this Australian? No, this was British. And then this is Australian. I love doing that. I love it so much. But I'm going to go in with the Kylie shade Bear. I almost said Babe. Bear from her vacation set. I have the matte one. I wish I had the velvet. I'm just going to put this lipstick right over the top of the liner. And I don't have the same shade of lip gloss, but I think that looks pretty much a little bit clear. So I grabbed a clear gloss. I know that the goal of this is to make the look wet. And I've been using, I bought specifically just the clear melted latex from Too Faced. And just to make my lips look wet, and when I don't have any lipstick on, just to put this on and over my natural lip color, and I love it so much. Anyways, so I'm just gonna put this right over the top of this lip color. Shoot, I put it back in the bottle like she said not to. The more you pack on here, the more wet it looks. One more. Alrighty, so the last thing is just to set it with setting spray, which I do have the same one as she does. Once again, a Morphe product. So Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And do you know why I have all these Morphe products? Because of this, bitch. Sorry, Mom, if you're watching this. But for reals, that's Jacqueline's word. Okay, not for reals, but bitch. Okay. Okay, cool. So this is the finished look, and I really like it. I love the redness to it. I wish the lip was maybe a little bit lighter like hers, but I still think it looks super good. I think it was really fun doing this challenge. I don't think it turned out, the eyes didn't turn out exactly the same. I think the inner of her eyes are a little bit lighter, but overall, I think it turned out super fun. I've gotten a lot of my tips and tricks from her as it was, so I didn't think it would be too much of a challenge, but again, I wanted to do something with her palette because I love it so much. It shocks me when people are selling that baby because I love it. Like somebody said, I just don't grab for it much, and it's like, what? Girl, that palette has every color you could need. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot to tell you guys the story of the cat I found this weekend. So I stayed at a friend's. A friend had passed away from high school, and his funeral was on Friday. Well, we stayed at a friend's on Friday night and Saturday night and just caught up and had a lot of fun hanging out with each other because it's been 5 years since we graduated, so a lot of people I haven't seen since then. And at my friend's on Saturday, she had a bunch of stray cats running around, and one of them was super sweet. Like, would literally lay in your lap for hours, and it's like, what kind of stray cat does that? Usually they won't even let you pick them up. And she was just super, super duper sweet. And I didn't want her to like have to live outside and stuff and not have a family and not be loved. So I tried bringing her to my house, and my cats literally, I think they were going to have a heart attack. They all started fighting each other. Like, I don't know if you've ever heard a cat scream, but that's the word I can use to describe it, because they were literally like, ah! Like, they were like freaking attacking each other and like hitting each other. And they weren't hitting the new cat, they were hitting each other. I don't know why they were so mad at each other, but that made them hurt each other, and their tails were fluffed up huge, and oh, it was bad. So I took her over to my mom's house, and she already has 2 other cats, and I think they're starting to get used to each other, but she's living a really good life now, I think. And so that makes me super duper happy that she has a home. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed this wonderful, marvelous journey through a Jaclyn Hill tutorial. I had a lot of fun doing it, as I've said and I mentioned, and I have made very clear. I love Jaclyn Hill, and she pretty much taught me a lot of my ways. I was doing makeup since I was like born, so that's how I kind of like got a foundation, but I have watched her for the last like 2 or 3 years, and I just love her so much. So I wanted to follow her first. I might do another one on Laura Lee because she is like one of my biggest inspirations right now. Jaclyn still is, of course, but I love Laura. I will see you guys in whatever my next... I will see you guys in whatever my next video ends up being, though. That's for sure. Bye, guys.